On this episode of China Uncensored, Elton John becomes China's public enemy #1. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Look upon the fabulous, sparkling, gap-toothed face of evil. Elton John is being slammed in China for crossing the line of good taste in a November concert in Beijing. China's state-run Global Times called him disrespectful for, quote, forcibly adding political content to the concert. Elton John, he dedicated his concert to Ai Weiwei. Excuse me. I'm sure you're equally offended. The two apparently met right before the concert and hit it off. Ai Weiwei even wrote on his Twitter, which is supposed to be banned in China, that I super like him. Well, it seems audience didn't like him, said state-run Global Times, which took it upon itself to speak for the audience. If they had known that this concert would be dedicated to Ai Weiwei, many of the audience would not have come. I mean, I know I would forgo seeing electrifying live performances of Rocket Man, Your Song, Benny and the Jets performed by the man himself because he dedicated the concert to a guy who built the Bird's Nest Stadium. Of course, this isn't the first time China has had problem with foreign stars that think just because somebody's given them the stage and a microphone, they're free to voice opinions. In 2008, Björk shouted "Tibet, Tibet" at the end of her song Declare Independence in a show in Shanghai. The Ministry of Culture said it hurt the feelings of the Chinese people and went against the professional code of an artist because, artists shouldn't have anything to say. Of course, Ai Weiwei, China's culture minister, and doesn't that just sound like something out of 1984, has come up with the solution. Only performers with university degrees will be allowed to play in China from now on. Sorry, Bieber. But it's not enough to just protect the Chinese people from subversive anti-China propaganda. The Chinese regime is just so loving that they want to protect people around the world from having any critical thoughts about China. Here are just a few examples. In 2009, the Melbourne International Film Festival received a stern warning from the Chinese consulate not to include a documentary about exiled Uyghur leader Rabia Kaidir. You see, in July of that year, thousands of Uyghur Muslims in Xinjiang flooded the streets to protest the brutality of Chinese police. Chinese police were therefore forced to kill 600 people and blamed it on Kaidir. Yeah, maintain that stability. The documentary was not withdrawn. Here's one from 2012. David Lin is a Taiwanese-American businessman living in Oregon. He had a 100-foot mural painted outside his store. One half was of an idyllic countryside in Taiwan. The other side was of brutal police beatings and self-immolations in Tibet. So the Chinese consulate in San Francisco sent a letter to the mayor of his city saying that it must be removed. It was not. Then there's the case of Shenyun Performing Arts. It's toured around the world in every major city and has received nothing but rave reviews for its depiction of traditional Chinese culture through music and dance. So you might think, hey, China's crazy, but this stuff is Chinese, so we're all good, right? Never underestimate the paranoid fever of the Communist Party. Because the company is based in New York and is not directly controlled by the Chinese regime, every city they travel to, the Chinese consulate try to get the show canceled or sabotaged, even going so far as slashing the tires of their tour buses. Now, the funny thing is, at the same time China is tightening its grip on artists and performers, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has been urging people to feel free to, quote, sharply criticize the Communist Party. Yeah, that doesn't sound like suicide, does it? Mao Zedong did the same thing. He called it the 100 Flowers campaign. People were encouraged to offer constructive criticism of the party, but when it turned out that people actually had some bad things to say about the Communist Party, they were swiftly rounded up and sent to labor camps. So needless to say, people are a little bit skeptical about opening their hearts up. But hey, isn't this a face you can trust? Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.